Now today we'll do the Shlok 7. So best of twice born from the principal warrior, the general of my army. Also, I named them for your information. Now, till now, Duryodhana was standing with um, Dronacharya and telling him about the army of Pandavas, because the Pandavas' army was in front of his eyes. Now he's telling the best of twice born means in Hindi Dvij. Dvij means somebody who has born twice. So it's not that the physically he was born twice. One time he was physically born, and another time he got birth when he was spiritually very high. We say the spiritual birth. So the people who are born and then they enter in the spiritual life, they are called Dvij. So Brahmins are called Dvij, famous people sometimes are called Dvij, gurus are called Dvij, because they all had two birth. So in this shloka, the Duryodhana described the bravery about the army of Pandavas, like before this shloka, right? But after that, second thought came to his mind. Like he was very, he has a good mind, he was intellect. So now the second thought came to his mind. He thought that maybe Arjuna is the favorite student of Dronacharya. So maybe Dronacharya had some partiality in his heart. Then he thought maybe he will make a peace treaty with Pandavas. You never know, right? In the front they are standing, and maybe he can go and say we will have a peace treaty. So what we can see here in this kind of thought, he was talking to Dronacharya now. So he's showing that he doesn't have 100% belief in Dronacharya. There was a fear inside him that if he does any partiality towards Pandavas, they will be done. They will be defeated. So now he started telling about the heroes from his army. That, okay, Pandava's army was great. Now look at our own army. How great is our army? So now that our army also has great chariot, he told that, like we also have so many great chariot who are powerful, valiant, and well-trained in warfare. So in many cases, they are more great and better trained in warfare than Pandavas, because Pandavas were in exile for like almost 13 years. But these kings and the people in the Kaurav sides are well trained. Then basically he want to say that there are many chief generals, marshal, chariot warriors in my army too. Like he's telling that, okay, I'm not weak. I also have a great army. I want you to acknowledge them. Like he's telling him that I want to acknowledge them. I want you to know that, okay, we also have a great army. So why he's using the word no? And before, in the case of Pandavas, he used the word see. So he used the word see in the case of Pandava army because the Pandavas army was standing opposite to them. So you can see with your eye how big is the army. But the Kaurva army, here he's using a word to know, because the Kaurva army, the Dronacharya was the great commander. So he was in the front and the army was in the back side or in the side of his sides. So he's telling that you also know that we have a very great army back and in your sides. Because Dronacharya cannot, move back and see that how big is the army. So he's telling him that I'm telling you that we also have a great army. And he is trying to, draw his attention, Dronacharya's attention towards his own army. And why he is doing all this? Because he was trying to compare his army with the Pandavas army. So Duryodhana wants to say that his size is nowhere weaker than Pandava. So he's telling the Guru is the commander of his army, and he's telling that doesn't matter what, our side is also very powerful. So now he's saying, because he was a crown prince and he used to take care of the kingdom because his dad was blind. So now he brought some politics in this shloka. And he's saying that if from the eye of politics we see, we should not take our opponent weak. Never consider that your opponent or your army is weak. In the politics, we never consider any of the enemy as weak. We give the right amount of attention and prepare well for any kind of situation. So this is a very big line. Most of the time, what we do, we say that we see if our opponent or enemy is not that strong, not that big, very small, just laugh. We don't put any attention towards it. So this is a beautiful line. Doesn't matter how small is opponent, how small is the enemy, we should always give proper attention to that enemy. We need to learn here that we should never have any feeling of neglect and intelligence, indifference towards the army. What happens that we neglect many times, small things we just neglect, and we say that, okay, it doesn't matter in my life, it doesn't make any difference. But we should not do that. We should address everything, whatever is coming in front of our eyes. So because he was saying that any kind of small enemy can create a very big damage, or can damage a very precious thing. So he was like very attentive to see that how big is the Pandavas' army. And now he's saying that again, that Pandavas' army, if you look from far, they look so trained, so brave, and very disciplined and united. Last week also we talked about that they were united and Duryodhana army was not united. So all these beautiful qualities comes when you have dharma on your side. So they look trained, brave, disciplined, and united because they all had dharma at their side. So now we can see how much Duryodhana is afraid. The main cause of his fear was that in spite of very small army, they were on righteousness. They were on dharma. They were on right path. And Krishna was standing with them. So Duryodhana was an intellect. He was dharmic also. So he knew that they look so powerful because they are on dharma and the Krishna is standing with them. And dharmic people and God create their influence on all creatures. He's saying that the dharmic people and the God, it can create influence on everyone. If some people are there in that group who are sinful or who doesn't have dharmic life, with the grace of other big dharmic people and the Krishna, the God, they will turn that person into also on the righteousness. So he knew that from inside, that their army is like very pure army. It's full of dharma and it's full of God, and all the blessing and the grace is on that side. So the question comes here, when he knew all this, that he's doing a wrong thing and dharma is on the Pandav side, Krishna is standing with the Pandav, then why he wanted to fight? So two things come here, like ego and too many desires. He wanted the entire land. He wanted the entire kingdom. And his ego was too big. That was the only reason for this war. And his dad was doing partiality. Remember in the first shloka we read about that how his dad did the partiality. So in the space of God and righteous people, the space is so powerful. When it touches other people, it changes everything. And he knew everything that, okay, whoever is standing with Krishna, the space of Krishna is so big, it will touch them and they all will become pure and more powerful. So this purity and powerful, we can understand in the common language as a grace, that the grace of God. When you are with the God will shower your grace on you. So it doesn't matter for only human beings. If the animals are there, birds are there, any kind of creature is there, and it's coming towards God, like it's looking at the God. The God is going to shower the love and grace on that creature. He knew everything. Duryodhan knew everything, that, okay, this is the truth. They are standing with the God, and God will remove all their sin and they all will become more powerful. So, he was like very, very influenced by the Pandavas' army. So what happened? Sometime when we knew that somebody is our enemy, but if the enemy or somebody is not friendly with us, but if that person is on the righteousness, on the right path, with the dharma, very stable, doesn't matter how much bad feelings we have in our heart, but then also we say that, oh, this person is right. That I am not okay with the thoughts, what kind of thought this person is having, but then also with the outer appearance, with the space of that person, we always say that, no, this person is very powerful. It's very attractive. So same way, the Krishna was very attractive for him. So from inside, he knew that Krishna is there, and I'm not going to do anything to this army. I will be not able to destroy this army. But the lust inside him for the material things was very powerful. And his ego, which was like, okay, I have to fight, I cannot give. Only that was the reason he was ready to fight. And because of these good qualities of the Pandavas army, he had knew in his heart that the Pandavas army is superior and the victory is going to be with Pandavas. He already knew that, because the unstable behavior of Duryodhana is showing that from inside he is so fearful that he knows that everything is going to be destroyed. So this was the shloka 7th. Any question in this one? In the 8th slok, now before he said that we have many good warriors. Now in the 8th sloka, he is saying that, taking the name of those warriors, that who are those powerful warriors. So he said yourself, he said to the Drona. Dronacharya was the teacher of all of them. So he said first you, then Bhishma. Bhishma was the granddad of all Kaurav and Pandavas. Then he said Kripa. Kripa was also a teacher and Kulguru for all of them. So he said Kripa is there. And then Ashwathama is there. So Kripacharya was, we consider in Sanatan Dharma that 8 people are there who are immortal. They can never die. So in that, Kripacharya was one of them. So he's saying that Kripacharya is there, who has the boon that he's not going to die. So he's there. And then Ashwathama is there. Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya. And he was also one of the immortal person, that he's not going to die. Then Vikarna is there. Soma is there. Sumatra is there. So he's taking everyone's name. But I will try to describe the Karn here, about the Karn, because the Karn is a very important character in this Kurukshetra war in Mahabharata. So Karn was the friend of Duryodhana. But Karn was the son of Kunti and sun god. So Kunti had a boom. So Kunti went to sun god, and she did prayers and everything. And after that, the Karn was born like a boon, like a gift, like a Vardhan, we say in Hindi, he was born. But at that time, Kunti was not married. So what she did, she put the Karn in a basket and put it in the water. So that she cannot have the baby because she's not married. And after that, she got married with the Pandu, and she had 5 sons named Pandavas. So one of the Sood means a charioteer or some small job who do in the kingdom. He took out the Karn from the water, and after that he started taking care of Karn. So Karn had great quality because he was son of sun god. So he had great qualities. But after that also, he was living in a very low life. Because at that time they have the caste system. So he was living with the lower caste people. And they didn't have money, they didn't have any facilities, nothing. But basically the Karna belonged to royal family, but he was not living with them. So Duryodhan, Karna was a great archer like Arjun. And Karn and Arjun were brothers. So Duryodhan gave one of his small kingdom to Karn and make him king of that kingdom. So the Karn became king, and his status went up, and he had money and everything. So that's why Karn, having all kind of knowledge, being on the righteousness all the time, he was the person who is called like Danvi, the person who donates most in the world. He was the one who will donate anything to. We'll read about that further, that what all he donated to the people. So with all the good qualities in him, and he knew that who is Krishna, but then also he was with Duryodhan, because when he didn't had anything, Duryodhan offered him his kingdom. So these kind of big people were in our army also. Duryodhan is telling this to Dronacharya. So Dronacharya is just listening, and we can feel the reaction, that what will be the reaction. Dronacharya is listening and just smiling. He is like, oh my God, this person is so scared from inside. I know everyone. I have taught everyone archery, and I am the guru of everyone. Then also he's standing here and telling me about each and every person. Like, why he is doing that? So Duryodhan had so much fear inside that he was reassuring himself that we have so many great warriors. Like when we don't know the reality, or when we are scared, many times we try to contemplate, we try to assurance ourselves that, okay, whatever I am doing is right. I'm also have so many things, so many people are supporting me. So that kind of thing he was doing. He was just behaving like a small child. A child who is so afraid from inside. And from outside, this child is behaving like, I'm very powerful and very strong. Now here we can see inner image and outer image totally different. With the shloka, what he is saying, what kind of words he is using, we know that he was very scared. But from the outer image, what he is showing, that I'm very strong. So whenever we see a gap between inner image and outer image, when the inner and outer image is not one, that is the time we can understand that we are on the wrong path. We are not doing the right thing. Because his two images was not same, so we can say that he is going to be defeated. Because he's totally not in his own control. Outside he's showing something, and inside he's like so much scared, so much stressful, so much disturbed. And whenever he saw Krishna there, and Krishna is always with the dharma, he becomes more and more scared, more and more scared. So When the inner and outer image are totally different, we know that it shows that the mind is totally disturbed. You are not at the one point. So he was giving all kind of things, all kind of signals that I am not in my senses, or I am scared, or I am fearful. But then also he was ready to fight. So whenever we see the gap between inner and outer image, it shows the weakness in our personality. That inside we are doing something and our outside we are showing something else. So this gap, let's forget about this war. In our daily life also, if we are saying, feeling something inside, our inner image is totally different, and we are showing something outside, our outer image is totally different. What are we showing? We are showing the weakness, that we are very, very weak from inside. And I know in today's world, we all do that. We have some feelings in our heart, but when we talk outside, we don't let anybody know what kind of feeling we have. And sometimes we feel proud on this kind of behavior also. But for everyone to understand, if something is mind and if something else is on the tongue, that is going to create more and more defeats in your life. This gap will create defeat. So we need to understand. So what we can do, whatever in our heart, we can say that, or we can try to change our mind. So how fearful or whatever stress and disturbance we have, it's not easy to tell it to everyone outside. So better way is to change our inner self, change our mind. According to that, then we will have inner and outer image one. And when the both images are one, then you can win any challenge in your life. So this is the part we can learn from this one, and keep your outer and inner image same every time. So this was the shloka, 8th shloka. Any question? The meaning of the 9th shloka is, the other heroes well trained in warfare, who are equipped with various weapons and missiles, have stacked their lives for my sake. So he's feeling very proud from inside that, oh, so many people are ready to fight for me, and they are ready to give their life. Now, let's see the weakness in this sentence. Anybody can tell me what is the weakness in this sentence? So in this shloka, we can see the dialogue here. He's saying that they are determined to die for my sake. But he's not saying that they are determined to kill for my sake. They are in the war. Can you see already he is feeling defeated, that everyone is going to die? Right? In his sentence, he's saying they are ready to die for me, but he would have said that they must be ready for, kill for my sake or live for my sake. So he missed there. Like, see again the fear inside him that, okay, I will die, everybody will die, they are ready to die. All that thing he was saying. The other mind is like already accepted that everyone is going to die. They all are going to die. We are not going to survive this. So in the starting only, the war is like kind of end, like, okay, he has given up. Even Duryodhan is like not a small fighter, like he's like very powerful warrior. When there is no dharma, then you don't understand that why you are disturbed, why you are unsure, why you are unseated, or why do you feel wrong-footed all the time. Like all kinds of feeling he was having. He was disturbed, he was unsure, unseated, and then wherever he was keeping his foot, it was like he was not able to strongly put his foot, so scared. You will be in that case when you are not in dharma side, you will be having everything, all the right things with you. You will have whole range of argument to support or justify your deeds. But then also you will feel unsatisfied because you are not on dharma. And it happens, right? When two people are fighting, when one person is on the right on dharma and a group of people is on the adharma, the dharmic people doesn't have to say anything to prove himself. He will be like, okay, you guys say whatever, I'm doing whatever is good. But the people who are on adharma, they will be having so much intellect argument to support whatever their mind is saying to them. Because in this case, they all are running with the mind. The mind created this desire in Duryodhana to get the entire kingdom. So we always talk about the intention and desire. Look, the desire and intention where they brought to Duryodhana. Because he had this desire, that's why he did all the wrong things. That's why he's fighting and he's being so weak. And in spite of all factual evidence available, you will be like, okay, from inside, you will know that something is missing, that something is not correct. That feeling he was getting. He had everything, the best army, the best warriors, everything, money, kingdom, like whatever is needed for war, he had everything. But then also something was missing inside him. That something was dharma. He did not have dharma with him. And it happened every time. Like, doesn't matter how much we do, if we are not on the dharmic path, we can argue. Sometimes we win by our argue or our deeds. But then also we can feel a crack inside us, that there is a crack inside us. So he's feeling that crack, that, okay, doesn't matter how much I'm saying, whatever I'm saying, I'm becoming more and more furious. I can feel a crack in myself. In these kind of condition, everything is okay. Everything is managed, arranged, and you can feel like confident that, okay, I have done everything to win. But from inside, the inner power goes away. And the person on the right path will never prepare so much. Because from inside, the person who is on the dharma, from inside, he knows that I'm on the right path. So this happened. So same thing was happening with Duryodhana. He was giving argument, he was confused, he was fearful, he was shaking, he was stumbling from inside. All these kind of things were happening to him because he was not on the right path. So always remember to follow dharma in any condition. So he became like so fragile that in that situation, we can say that if you ask him to go and look himself in the mirror, maybe he didn't have courage to see in his own eyes because he was so scared and fragile from inside. And that was having total, his capacity was like just going away at that time, like he didn't had anything. And the most important part, when you know that you are not on the right path, you feel ashamed. Again, outside, the outer image will be powerful, bold, and everything. But inside, with the fear, you feel ashamed also that I am not standing with the dharma and I am very ashamed. So this was the 9th shloka.